Hello and welcome to the official Arrowheads Abroad 2021 live mock draft. Today we're joined by Neil and Tom.
Hello.
And of course myself, Owen. And yeah, we've been talking through some drafts in the past couple of podcasts. And obviously Neil had that big article which came out a few days ago. Was it, Neil?
Last week, maybe?
Yeah, last week sometime.
But
now we're here just before the draft. Yeah, of course. Yeah, which is all pretty much irrelevant now with the Orlando Brown news. But just before sneaking it in, just before the actual drafts gets underway on Thursday, it's the Arrowheads Abroad 2021 live mock draft.
I'm going to share my screen now so we can see what we're using. How's that looking?
Yeah, perfect. That's really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Excellent. Okay. We'll do the full 7 and normal speed. And can I move you guys down? I can move you guys down. I'll shift you down there. Okay, should we do like 10 picks and see who everyone's got?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. I'll just pause it at 5 there. Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Pitts and Chase. I wouldn't be surprised if that was pretty much bang on.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised about Fields going that early. I wasn't expecting 49 to take Fields.
There's talk about Mac Jones there, isn't there?
Trey Lance or Mac Jones, yeah. But apart from that, it means it looks pretty how I'd imagine it unfolding. I mean, Kyle Pitts is obviously the best non-quarterback in the draft, so I'm not surprised he went 4th overall.
Yeah,
I think that's a big decision for the Falcons because they've got to decide whether they want Pitts or whether they want to drop down. Because I imagine they're going to get some offers there, especially if. In this situation, Fields is gone, which seems to be the coveted quarterback if they were to take Lance or Mac Jones. But it's interesting on the day whether they take Pitts or whether they trade down, because I think that's the potential for someone to come up, especially if they don't take Fields. But in this situation, I understand it.
I would take Trey Lance there myself, even though Matty Ryan's contract's
even as the Falcons, yeah,
it isn't great and it's not easy to get out of, but you could afford to take the hit. Like at the back end of this, give him a season to sit behind Ryan, and that you're not going to be drafting at 4 every year, hopefully. So if you want a quarterback, you need to go and get him now.
It's a very similar situation to the Chiefs in terms of Matt Ryan was probably pretty similar to Alex Smith level of play there.
Yeah.
Not saying the surrounding cast is the same, but if that's what they wanted to do, they would get another year or maybe even 2 out of Matt Ryan and then move on to quarterback, but that's what they've decided to do.
Yeah.
And seeing 4 quarterbacks go in the top 4 would be crazy come actual draft day. That would be crazy to see.
Big news there.
So Waddle goes to Miami, Pat Surtain to Detroit, Penny Sewell to Carolina, Trey Lance goes to Denver. Ooh.
I'm not scared. I think Fields is the worst case scenario to the Broncos, but in this, after he goes at 3, I think I'm not major scared of the Broncos anyway, to be honest. But yeah, you'd want them to stick with Drew Lock, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
As long as they want
to. Yeah. Well, like Ken said last week, that or Mac Jones if they drafted Mac Jones.
Yeah,
because he wasn't too big. He wasn't too hot on Mac Jones either, was he? So
no.
Yeah, but we weren't hot on Justin Herbert after the draft last year, and he looks all right.
So I wonder if Mac Jones goes to the Patriots here at 15. That'll be interesting to see.
It's interesting. Penny Sewell dropped to 8 as well. He was supposedly going to the Bengals, and that didn't happen. There you go.
Mac Jones to the Patriots. It is. Another one of note there. Darisaw to the Chargers. In pretty much every single mock draft I've done, they have taken him.
I've seen that.
I would put money on him going there on draft night.
Who are the Ravens?
Jenkins has gone as well to the Vikings.
Who are the Raiders taking in 2 picks time? Looking at that board.
So you've got Micah Parsons, Caleb Farley, Jalen Phillips, Zayden Collins, Christian Barrymore, Elijah Vera Tucker. I think they'll go Elijah Vera Tucker if he's there. They need O-line help as well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Let's see, shall we? Barrymore.
Standard pick.
Yeah, well,
he's not bad. I'm not saying bad player. He's just like not. Yeah.
Well, it's a good, accurate Raiders pick then. Not who you'd expect to go at number 17.
I kind of expected him to take a linebacker, and it just went either side. So
yeah, Parsons at 16 to the Cardinals and Owosu Karamoa to the Dolphins. Rashad Bateman, Duncan's draft crush goes to the Bears. Jesus, him and Allen Robinson would be a fair combination there.
They're going to have no one to throw to him though. No, it'd be interesting to see who's there at 31, considering what we know now.
So up to 25 there. Newsome, the cornerback's gone. Leatherwood to the Titans. Quiddy Pay to the Jets. Vera Tucker to the Steelers, and Trevon Moehrig, the safety, to the Jags.
I tell you what, if the Chiefs did have their pick at 31, there's 3 edges on the board at that point that we stopped it.
Okay, so I paused it just before there. Jalen Phillips has gone, Elijah Moore's gone, Zayvon Collins has gone, Jamin Davis has gone, and Kadarius Toney's gone. So who would we have picked here then?
Jason Owen.
We would have had Cosmes there. If we wanted wide receiver, Terrace Marshall, Rondale Moore, Amari Rodgers. All the tight ends are going to be there. Tackles, Cosme Eichenberg, Raduns.
I think I'd have
taken Creed Humphrey. We'd have had a lot of options. Joe Tryon, the edge rusher from Washington, he's getting a lot of talk.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's where I'd go, I think. Joe Tryon.
This is probably, in terms of all the mock drafts I've done, this is probably the most options I'd have had at 31.
This is where you'd be trading down.
Considering, you'd trade down. I mean, Jason Owen's there, and he's not even the top, supposed, according to this, edge prospect there, which is just crazy. 2 running backs there for the Chiefs as well at 31.
Just don't go there. Okay, so let's see who the Ravens take there then. I'll get to the end of the first round and pause it.
Yeah.
So 2 edge rushers go. Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher, goes to the Ravens. He's 3-4 outside linebacker, isn't he? Because I looked at him for us, but he was too small. He was too light.
Yeah, I think I've heard a lot about Joe Tryon recently, and the one that I was really hoping we'd take was Jason Owen. If we were going to take the pick, because I just didn't think we'd have a good tackle prospect there. I mean, Sam Cosme is still there on our kind of draft board at the moment, so it would have been a decision to make. I'm not sure where we did. I think the O tackle need would have probably been the highest one.
Yeah, I think Cosme would probably have ended up going for it, I guess.
Yeah,
like he's the most like. Well, I don't know. The problem with the tackles was like the guys who had experience playing left tackle had short arms, and the guys with long arms played right tackle, and that's the wrong way around. So there weren't really any great options to us at that stage.
I tell you what, I like looking at how it's played out. I'm more than happy with the decision that she's made. I'm sure.
Oh, big time, yeah.
It just seems like the best option.
Okay, should we let it run until we get close to our pick?
Yeah.
Sure.
So there goes Cosme to the Jags.
Yeah.
Eichenberg's gone to the Dolphins. Terrace Marshall's gone to the Lions. Oh, we've got an offer. Wow. So the Jags are offering us number 45 and number 106. And in return, they want 58, 144, 175, and 181.
That basically ends our draft, doesn't it, then?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have a 6-rounder.
I don't know how much knowledge I've got of the 5th round, I'm not going to lie. But what are we even moving up? Like 30-something spot?
13 in the 2nd and 14.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 4th, really. Yeah, I'm not crazy bothered, to be honest.
No, Owen, thoughts?
I'm not too keen on taking either. It seems a lot to give up.
No, I'm with you both. Decline.
I think depth, yeah. Keep the depth.
Oh, Patriots offering us a chance to move up for the 46 pick, so the 4th rounder at 144.
we can't lose our 144.
No. It's a big enough gap as it is between
it's
63
massive.
and 144.
If anything, can you initiate a trade, Neil? Because we may have to move down. I think that would be my plan here. But
you can, yes, you can.
I'd see who's there first, obviously.
Nick Bolton's gone. He was one that was on my radar at pick 58.
Free him off the tight ends. Oh, hang on. So we're at 58 and we have some offers. So the Bucks are offering a 64 and a 6th rounder.
No.
No. The Texans are offering us a 3rd and a 5th. No.
No.
No. I'm not keen on either of those.
I'm not keen on either of those. No, me neither.
No, we decline them both and we pick them. So,
and we not propose a trade?
We can propose a trade if we want to. Do you want to move down?
I mean, let's see who's there first. If there is, Gregory Rizou is one guy.
Yeah, the two edges stand out, and then I guess the kind of risk we're making here, because I just presuming for us here that we'd be looking at edge. I'm sure we'll look at wide receiver, but we've got 1, 2, 3. There's 4 picks. Well, 5 if we trade it away.
So if we look at wide receiver,
we have to be comfortable.
Dwayne Eskridge, Amon Ra-St. Brown, and Tylan Wallace are all kind of in range. Eskridge is kind of like a McCall Hardman kind of player. Wallace and St. Brown are more.
I like St. Brown.
Players we need.
I like Shane Jabril Coxman, literally the pick before, and Ronnie Perkins 2 picks before. Peyton Turner 4 picks ago. So it looks like there has been a little run on edges. I'd be tempted to take an edge here just because I think getting Gregory Rousseau here would be awesome for the Chiefs, and then potentially looking seriously at moving back from pick 63 if we can.
Yeah, I was thinking about trading one of these picks away and seeing what we can get.
My only other, I don't know how this mock draft kind of machine is going to work, but we've had a lot of interest in this pick. I don't know how much interest we'll get at 63. I know we can propose. I don't know whether you wanted to entertain getting rid of this pick now.
Well,
or are you happy to just take Gregory Rousseau?
Rousseau is certainly
I
did the draft board. If I pull up the draft board here, Rousseau was someone I had in the first round.
I'd be very happy for us to take Rousseau here.
So to take him here
I'd be
would be
awesome.
Would be a bargain.
Mm.
I mean, he hasn't played in a year, but he is majorly talented, and he does get a high fit on.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a big high fit here, isn't there, with Gregory Rousseau? I've got to be honest. I've heard a lot about Joseph Asai, but I haven't looked into him as much in terms of fit as I know that Rousseau does.
I'm happy with Rousseau here.
I'm happy with Rousseau, but I think
I think if we traded this one and then waited till 63 and he was gone, I think
not be there. Yeah,
be kicking.
I think we'd regret it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, we'll pull the trigger then. Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher from Miami. He is drafted. Oh, Brady Christensen's one who I've seen as a possible.
Tommy Tremble's
gone the pick before us to Green Bay. So
Tommy
we
Tremble's
didn't get any offers for this one. Is there anyone? How far
Neil,
down
for me, I'd be looking at wide receiver here. So can we have a look at wide receiver in terms of the rankings that they have? So if we could, so it looks like 74 is a nice range to get back to, which is where Washington are. We might have to get a bit further back than that in terms of getting some decent value. I was just looking because there's like you got 74, 75 and 76 are all ranked receiver, and then it drops off to 122.
Yeah,
and just thinking in terms of the range that we want to be in.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to drop back to 74 and see what we can get. I'm guessing it's not going to be a fat lot. That's the only problem.
I'm interested in a second tight end, and Tommy Tremble and Brevin Jordan are both there, and I like both of them. I love the idea of Andy Reid with 2 really good receiving ends, and the tricks he could pull. If you had Kelsey and Brevin Jordan on the field at the same time, you could run the ball, you could pass the ball. Teams, how do you defend it? Like, what do you see 2 tight ends and go into your base defense and then they pass on you, or do you stick with a nickel defense and then you just run the ball down your throat with a new improved O-line. I would love to see a good second tight end.
It is very tempting.
Are you not picking until round 4 now?
Well, the thing is, if you don't take the tight end now,
you're not getting him.
No, there's some good tackles there still. Mayfield, Carmen, Spencer Brown,
Mayfield,
Forsyth. They're all 4 of them if you wanted to go development and tackle still.
And if we're looking long term, what about like interior offensive line, like centre?
As I pull it up for you, Quinn Marinez, thingy. He's God.
I've heard a lot about Josh.
Plays both.
And Josh Myers.
Josh Myers, Ben Cleveland. He's been well reviewed.
What do you think it would take moving backwards to get another 3rd round pick here?
I'd be impressed if we got 2/3 for this one.
No, just one. In terms of swap pick and getting.
Let's try the Eagles at 70 because they have a load.
Yeah, I was thinking Eagles. Yeah,
and that's kind of moving back 7. See if they have.
That'd give us the front end. That'd give us the front end of that.
Should we see if they're willing to part with a 4th?
Yeah, I mean, work. Backwards.
Yeah, I mean, it is only 7 spots, so yeah, I don't see the likeness of that.
I don't want to part with a 5th or a 6th. Like, you'd be looking at a 6th rounder in 225 or thereabouts. No,
it's not really. It's not.
I mean, if there's someone on the board that you think would stick around until 70, but
I think one of the wide receivers.
Who are you going to pick with that extra pick at 6th, though?
That's
someone around them.
You kind of look at the roster now, and you want starters. So, toss it between wide receiver and a tight end.
I think it's a very strong pool of wide receivers this year. So I'd be tempted to
get one later.
I'd be tempted to take a tight end here, just to secure that, because there are a lot of wide receivers late in the draft that I've looked at and would be tempted by later rounds.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. So then it becomes a toss up between Tommy Tremble or Brevin Jordan.
I mean, you got to take Tommy, ain't you? He's the one that everyone's spoken about.
He's
got to take him. Got to take him for Dunk.
And I know he gets like Craig's guy and Kent's guy in the.
He gets 3. No, he gets 3. I think.
Should we go with Tommy Tremble?
Yeah. I mean, picking for a while.
Tommy Tremble's the one I know more about, so I don't know much about Brevin Jordan, and also the idea of Tommy and Travis as our 2 Titans. Yeah. It just sounds like a nice combination.
I'm on board with that. So Tommy Tremble, are we happy?
I'm happy.
Yeah, happy. Done. So now we sit and wait for the next 10 minutes while we get.
I wonder how many non-Chiefs fans are expecting the Chiefs to take a tight end that early in the draft. I don't think there's many that would expect that to happen. But I think Chiefs, there's a lot of conversation amongst Chiefs fans about taking a tight end.
Because we haven't had a good tight end 2 for a while, have we? I think that's why, and give us a lot more options.
But I just think Andy Reid could make such problems for opponents. If you were to line up the 2 tight ends and stick the 2 of them on one side and run a bubble screen behind them, or fake that bubble screen and the 2 of them run routes or something. There's. You could just load up on one side and have Tyreek Hill on the other, and then what do you do? Do you single cover Tyreek Hill, or do you leave Tremble and Kelsey over to one side with whoever the receiver happens to be?
The Raiders just drafted a quarterback.
Kyle Trask.
He's got some round 1 buzz, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah. Although I don't see it, but
no, not do I. But he's.
Okay, we're coming up on us, and it is us, and we get no offers again. So we're at 144. What areas do we want to strengthen then? I know It says here team needs wide receiver, linebacker, interior O-line.
We need a cornerback as well, really.
I think we'd be silly to leave this draft without drafting at least one wide receiver. I'm not saying it needs to be now, but I think at some point in the draft we need to address wide receiver.
Now, Anthony Schwartz is just rapid, isn't he? Just like proper quick. But Josh Palmer's supposed to be really, really good.
I don't know about Das Newsom. Here is Simi Fehoko, who's like a 6'4". They called him like DK Metcalf was a comparison Arrowhead Pride used, and I would be all on board with that. Big, strong, fast.
How fast is he? Was he proper fast?
No, like not like McCall Hardman and Tyreek Hill fast, but you know, he's 6'4". He can jump ball as well, which gives us an extra dimension.
I've heard a lot about Josh Palmer, but at this point it just seems like a potluck guess. I'm kind of happy as long as
me. Either Josh is for me at 168 and 171 were the two that I had my eye on in the mock drafts that I've been doing. But I mean, the 6'4" Simi does sound very tempting as well, Neil. Just to mix up that wide receiver
next
room.
Pick?
They are like rated like 165,
170 something. It's 170 something.
175. 175.
I think we're
181.
I think we'll be in the right range to get a wide receiver then.
So do I.
It might make our decision for us, but we can't make a decision between us.
What linebackers are still there?
Monty Rice,
Craig talks about Monty Rice a lot, doesn't he? Over on there.
Isaiah McDuffie, I saw a piece on Arrowhead Pride about him as a kind of a late pick in linebacker. Once you get past the first few linebackers, I don't think there's much that fits us at all, really.
Nick Neiman's there. What are you on about?
Well, yeah. Would you double dip at edge rusher?
I think there are we could look at other needs. I think we should look at other needs.
What about the interior?
Because I'm really happy with our first edge pick. I think that was solid. So
yeah. What about interior offensive line?
I would complain about David Moore.
There?
David Moore from Grambling, he's guard, isn't he? He's got a bit of buzz.
And while these rankings don't mean everything, we are looking more of a 134, whereas everyone else was like 159. So seems like we'd be getting good value there.
I wouldn't be against going interior.
Lottery ticket.
You're looking at O-line depth here, aren't you? I mean, that's what we need. That's what we struggled in the Super Bowl was like, the starters weren't the problem last season. It was backups that were the problem. Or when four backups were playing in the same game, that was a problem.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
But you could say that
and I think our depth in the interior offensive line is quite thin at the moment, especially like we've got Austin Blythe, and then behind him we don't have much at centre. There's a little bit of battle at right guard as well with LDT and Carl Long, but you don't know how well that's going to pan out. It is depth I worry about our interior offensive line, which is why I would quite like to see us take a guy in the draft somewhere. And it looks like the highest ranked position at this pick. It looks like interior offensive line there's like a little pocket of them here.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm just looking at Matty Lane's horizontal board, and he's got David Moore as a third rounder.
That would be good value here then at pick.
So we'd be getting him. It looks like we're getting him at the end of the fourth round. So if that adds any weight, I am with that.
I can be talked into him. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the top of that list that they've got there as well. So
okay. So David Moore, guard from Grambling.
Happy with that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Me neither.
He is getting drafted then. So interior line done. So what did we say? 175-ish, I think we
175, I think, correct, yeah.
No wide receivers gone yet. I'm keeping an eye on the wide receiver situation.
Good. There's a
lot of corners just went. Yeah, a lot of corners went there.
We probably could do with another corner. What do we think?
Newsom's
what do we think we're looking for here then? Wide receiver, corner.
We're very close in picks here, 175 and 181. If we can get there and have a little look at what the situation is, because
so all those wide receivers are still there. This is a pocket of wide receivers now.
But you look at
Anthony Schwartz, Josh Palmer, Shee Smith, Josh Imatubebe, I'm going to say, and Simi Fehoko.
Well, there's 5 there, and we're only 5 picks away from our next pick. So I don't see all 5 going. So I think we'd actually still have a choice there in 5 picks' time.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So if we can find another need that we can fill now and push wide receiver down the road a bit.
Looking at cornerback, that Rashad Wildgoose there, he got a 3rd round grade in the Arrowhead Pride draft guide. He was a good fit for us. Are there any tackles to go at? No, there's nothing there I particularly like the look of. What other positions do we need? Linebacker, I'm not wild about any of the linebackers, to be honest. I'd rather run with what we've got.
Yeah, I'm just having a little look at what our situation is.
Owen, have you got any preferences on the wide receivers here? Owen looks like he's frozen on us.
No thoughts at all.
He's deep in thought. He's either very deep in thought there. Oh no,
he's gone. He's gone. The
That's
war room has just claimed his first pick.
His Wi-Fi's been a devil.
It's you and me from here on out.
Then, Tommo.
Okay. Well, this is going to be harder now because we haven't got a deciding pick. I like Josh Palmer. I really like Josh Palmer. I like that Schwartz is really quick. I can't tell you why I like Josh Palmer either. So that's a problem. I'd wait on wide receiver. There's so many there that I'm happy with, but we can move back 5 places and get one. I like the cornerback, Wild Goose.
He gets a good review in the Arrowhead Pride one. Owen's back. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, my Wi-Fi is going to drop out at some point. It's been sketchy last week, so I knew it was coming. Just a matter of time.
So we're still in the exact same position as we were a minute ago, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We're talking cornerback here, I think, and waiting for wide receiver for the next pick.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout as well, because there are plenty of wide receivers, and we're only 5 picks off.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see.
I'm looking at Wild Goose there because I know he gets a good rating on the Arrowhead Pride one. I think Shaka Brown does okay out of it too. I think.
I'm just trying to have a look at the board to see where these guys are in terms of.
I have Shaka Brown in the 3rd round on my big board here.
I mean, what information do we get from them? Can we get anything to go off, or are we literally just going to take a little punt on this?
Well, we're clutching at straws, really, aren't we? Once you get into the 5th round, it's pot.
Yeah, I think it's.
We'll go Wild Goose.
Yeah. I think you're pretty good.
I was going to say the only thing you could do is look at safeties and see if any stand out. It's the only other thing. And no, it doesn't to me.
Tariq Thompson and Paris Ford are 2 names, and Hamlin.
Yeah.
I have the 3 of them on my board here.
They've got scary rank numbers, though.
Yeah, they're not
picking here. I think I'm happy with the cornerback here.
Yeah, I'm not desperate for a safety. I think cornerback's bigger need than a safety.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going with Rashad Wildgoose.
Yeah,
he's got a good name. Well, I get that on a jersey.
Yeah, great
name. Give me the wide receivers.
None of the wide receivers have gone. Josh Palmer's just gone.
Josh Palmer just went.
He was the one I wanted.
That's what you liked, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah. I'm pretty
big
open
on that
here.
Simi Fehoko. I like his name, and I like the fact he's big and can catch.
Does it not worry you that we've tried before with Travis Benjamin? It just doesn't work. It hasn't worked, or.
Well, Travis Benjamin was crap though, so that's kind of why that didn't work.
You're about to draft a 5th round receiver, Neil.
He was big, but he was slow and couldn't catch, which as a wide receiver isn't exactly a great combination.
Oh.
I'm happy with Simi. I mean, the other name was Josh. The other name was Josh, but again,
Imatorbhebhe.
And I think it's for similar reasons as Simi. I think he's 6'2", maybe. And he was just big body receiver. We don't have that at the moment, so let's mix up the wide receiver room. So I'm happy for either of them because it was just a size for me.
I'm going to go with Simi because I know he gets
let's go Simi
on the Arrowhead Pride draft guide.
He's a round 3 guy on Matt's board as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
There we go.
Yeah.
And where does that Josh Imatorbhebhe rank on there?
He's a 5th rounder, so you get him.
Let's go Simi.
I back the guys at Arrow Pride to have
absolutely.
a better guess than us.
100%.
Yeah.
Simi for Helco it is. So what have we got? 1 pick left at 2.
Well, we've covered quite a lot of the perceived needs as well, which is nice.
I think it's a nice spread out draft. It's good. I think we've picked well.
Especially as we didn't trade back to get players we're happy with in each position of need is good as well.
So what else do we want? What do we want to take a punt on in the 6th?
Whoever's the best player available that we know their name.
Tell me Josh is still there.
Yeah, go back to back.
Jalen Darden is he's a small, electric, fast wide receiver. He's similar to what McCall Hardman. Actually, he's more kind of a Dexter McCluster, D'Anthony Thomas kind of guy. You know that there's a possible use there, but he's one of the quickest around, I think.
Big fan of that.
I mean, if we're looking at teams that make use out of gadget players, the Chiefs are up there with some of the best. I mean, we do tend to get our use out of gadget wide receivers.
I just think while they've got Nicole, though, while they've got Hardman there, is he really going to do anything?
What, is Hardman going to do anything?
No, I hate Hardman more than anybody here, but just saying that theoretically the Chiefs are going to use him, aren't they?
Yeah. What else? Linebacker. I mean, you could go linebacker as a spec. That Isaiah McDuffie's still there. Where's Isaiah McDuffie on that board there, Tommo?
Oh, what are we looking at? A linebacker.
Yeah.
Because it is a need.
McDuffie, they've got him in the 4th round in blue, but I don't know what blue means, so I can find out.
Cutting insight here, folks. Cutting insight.
I didn't expect to be using it. Just it'd be good for depth later on.
Well, I mean,
if he's projected in the 4th round, we're in the 6th. That's pretty good value. 2 rounds.
And
2 rounds more than.
Worst case scenario, he's a special teams player. You know, he adds a bit of depth and maybe he can nudge out somebody for some playing time. But you'd like to think Gay and Hitchens are going to get the most time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think this late in the game, I think that's all you got to look for. Really, is just
he said that
hope some of these guys pop.
He said that blue means that they've moved up recently, so he's moved up over half a round recently.
Okay.
So he's trending upwards, I think, is the.
What about the tackles on the board there? Josh Ball's a name that I recognise. I think he's been talked about as a kind of a late round development kind of guy.
To be honest, at this point, I have absolutely no idea, and I'm purely referencing the guide, which is saying he's a 5th round pick.
I can't believe you didn't do your research on the 6th round of the draft.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's go linebacker then. Isaiah McDuffie.
Yeah, I'm happy with
go with it. Yeah,
happy to go linebacker. Okay.
I'm happy for us to take punts on linebackers.
And that is all our picks.
Is that our draft? Is it?
That is going to be our draft. So it is going to run through to the end of the draft. I don't really care.
Really happy with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that as well.
58, we went edge rusher Gregory Rousseau. 63, we went tight end Tommy Tremble. Duncan will be happy with that. 144 went David Moore, guard from Grambling. 175, Rashad Wildgoose, cornerback from Wisconsin. 181, Simi Fehoko, wide receiver from Stanford. And 207, Isaiah McDuffie, linebacker from Boston College. Everyone comfortable with that?
We didn't get the wide receiver high, but we did get a weapon high. So
yes,
I think that hopefully will give us, take a little bit of pressure off as well.
I am gonna save this.
Screenshot that.
I can save it. Actually, I can screenshot it as well because I will use the screenshot. Snip. You two talk while I snip this. There we go. That can go there.
I mean, like you said, Tom, taking a wide receiver quite late is a bit of a gamble because it was one of our bigger needs. But I think having that insurance of Tommy Tremble early does make up for it in some sense. And I think we played it really well because obviously getting Orlando Brown did open up our options quite a lot. So being able to just take whichever position we needed, the best position out of those, or the best player out of those select positions that we needed, I think that was a good game plan going into it. I think we did that pretty well.
It wasn't far off best player available, was it?
No, it feels quite realistic as well. I think as much as we all think the wide receiver is a big need, and I'm sure the Chiefs do too, I think it is the sort of thing that will get pushed later into the draft because I think there is the kind of general feeling that there's value later in the draft for the wide receivers. So,
well, Brett Veach did talk about that, saying that in the 5th round, I think it was, there's a pocket of receivers, which I'm going to guess is probably that pocket we just came across.
It was quite a big wide receiver class anyway. Even in the higher round, there's wide receiver talent all over the board. I think this year. So I think if we picked a wide receiver at any point in the draft, I think we should be happy with the outcome. Because, like you said, there is talent all over this draft at wide receiver.
I would be stunned if we didn't take at least one.
Me too.
Yeah. Gregory Rousseau at 58 is a pretty close to dream scenario here. I think
the only thing with him is that he hasn't played.
Good. Yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of guys that haven't played. There's
true.
Trey Lance that might go 5th overall that's played about 10 games in his career.
Where did Trey Lance go?
Was it it was Broncos?
Oh, it was
Broncos at 9. Yeah.
Let's have a quick look at who the other teams. No, it's only giving me first round there. Oh no, here we are.
You can click into it, yeah.
So Denver went Baron Browning, linebacker. The Raiders went Nick Bolton, linebacker from Missouri.
The Chargers took an inside offensive lineman as well, just the pick before the Raiders.
Oh, Wyatt Davis.
So they bolstered up their offensive line in their first 2 picks.
That wouldn't be surprising, would it?
Because they went tackle, didn't they, in their first?
They did. They went Derisor in the first.
Yeah.
Denver went with Eskridge, wide receiver, the short, fast one we were talking about.
Get some more speed, yeah.
Chargers, Divine Diablo, good name, safety from Virginia Tech. Raiders go Spencer Brown. He's one who's
and then St. Brown.
Brown.
Brown. Yeah, that's 2 good picks for the Raiders.
They are good. They are 2 good picks, yeah.
I hope they're not as good as this on draft night.
They don't tend to be, do they?
Chargers get Jordan Smith, edge rusher. I've seen him talked about quite a bit as well. Geez, they're all having good drafts here. I'm not keen on this. Denver, Trill Williams, cornerback. Robert Rochelle, cornerback for the Chargers. The Raiders take Kyle Trask, quarterback.
That would be interesting. Do you think they're going to trade up on draft night? There's been talk of them trading up.
What, the Raiders?
Yeah, for a quarterback. I can't see
I'm
it.
not sure.
I
think
hopefully
Derek Carr too much.
I'd be surprised.
Could you imagine Mac Jones ending up in the AFC West? Where did he end up going?
He went to the Patriots.
The Patriots at 15.
Oh, yes, he did, yeah.
That'd be an interesting one. The Patriots need to do something because Cam Newton's not their answer.
No. This whole draft, though, goes a bit crazy after the San Francisco 49ers take Justin Fields because he seems to be the one they're all clamoring over.
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to be looking at the 49ers.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking at San Francisco on draft night. I think everyone's going to have their eyes on what they do because I think that'll change the shape of the draft, whoever they pick.
It's going to be funny because the draft's going to start and they're going to be talking about pick 3 and pick 1. It really is where it starts.
Yeah.
Happy with our draft, though. I mean, if you put Orlando Brown at the top of that,
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Really, really good.
As a unit.
I would take that. I'd be happy with that. Brett Veach, if you're watching this, watch and learn something. Right, I'm going to stop screen sharing here because we don't need to see that now. So as far as the Orlando Brown trade goes, then we may as well talk about it now. Happy with it?
Very.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's hard not to be. Easily the biggest position of need. Taking away a great player from one of our biggest AFC rivals in the next few years.
I think you have to ask the question. What were they thinking? Like,
yeah, I know.
What? Yeah. Why? Like, you want to trade him? Yeah.
I mean, I'd understand.
He doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
I tweeted on the morning of the trade. I can't believe that the Ravens would fill supposedly their biggest rival for the AFC, fill their biggest need. It's bonkers to me that they've actually done it. And then you look at the situation. I mean, you even look at the draft that we've just done in terms of, I think, to not drive ourselves crazy, the talk over the last few weeks of all the positions the Chiefs could take. The Chiefs were always probably going to take a tackle at 31. It seemed pretty nailed on, even by the fact that they've made this trade. But like the tackles that are there at 31 aren't anywhere near his level.
Yeah.
He's the best scenario there for us at 31, if that's how you want to play this. And we've actually moved up into the second round to lose. Like, do you get what I mean? It doesn't feel like we've lost a fat lot in terms of player value. We can still take two really good players in the second round.
I think that's the kicker. I think that's what made the
good trade for us.
Yeah, what made the deal even sweeter was that second rounder they gave us. I mean, it's one thing giving us a premium left tackle in the NFL. It's another thing giving us that and still allowing us to have some depth in the early rounds of the draft. I mean, we've still got 2 picks in the first 2 rounds, and we've secured ourselves a left tackle for the future. So, I'm pretty happy. And
when that trade came out, the first thing you see is the first round pick. You go, oh no, because while it's not the worst thing in the world, the talk had been that it was like a day 2 pick to acquire Orlando Brown. I knew that would be dearer for the Chiefs, but when you see the first round, you're like, oh, and then there's still like loads more underneath it. But to, like Owen said, to get that second round pick back, we've gone from 31, which is, pretty close to us. It's the end of the first round anyway, and we've got 2 in the second round. Even though they're late, it still gives us great opportunity to move around as well. Really, really good trade for us.
Could you see Brett Veach putting those 2 second rounders together and getting back up to 35 or somewhere around there and really targeting somebody?
I don't think he's going up. I can't see us going up.
And I don't know who for. I wouldn't know who for either. I don't think there's anyone that particularly jumps out of me in that early second round pool.
It's not
anyone that we could wait for until pick 58 to get.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's much of a need there to go up and get someone. I think I'm happy sticking with, and I think just the position we're in and the talent we have at the moment on the roster already, it is just about building that depth and just hoping you hit on some guys. And I think the more picks you have, the more chance you have of hitting. So I'm happy.
You're preaching to the converted there. Okay, so does that conclude our mock draft for 2021?
I think it does.
We didn't get any right. We did go back over it, didn't we? We said we went back over it, and we did check who we picked last year. We didn't pick any. So don't take anything we've just done in the last hour as any sort of idea of what might happen.
We got a couple of reasonable players. There's a cornerback at Dallas who had a decent season, and
Diggs,
Donovan Peoples-Jones in Cleveland, I think it is, started to look promising. So, there would have been a couple of useful players for us there.
Yeah,
we didn't take them, but they're going to be decent players.
Yeah.
Justify the picks list, we didn't completely bust out. It was okay.
No. I think we'll be very, very close this year in terms of especially positions if we don't get one of these picked right, because the pockets are likely to be very similar to this. In terms of, I could see the Chiefs taking an edge where we took an edge. I can see them taking wide receiver where we took a wide receiver. I think the tight end is 50-50. I think they might go wide receiver there over. It's how much they like Tommy Tremble and I can't remember who the other tight end that was there. Brevin Jordan was there. But I think we'll be close positionally. Hopefully we get it one right.
Yeah, I think you're right with that, because with the every pick we had, it felt like we were picking between 2 or 3 players at the same position, rather than thinking, oh, should we go tight end? Should we go edge rusher here? And it was like we were always picking in the same position group. So I think that's promising in terms of where the pockets of players are going to be, like you said. So hopefully we'll land on a couple this year. We'll see.
I tell you what, if we get the positions right, I'd be happy with that. Never mind the players and getting the names right. Like, if we get the positions right, then we're making progress.
I don't think anyone saw us taking Willie Gay in the second round last year. And I don't think anyone saw us taking Clyde Edwards there. So maybe we're totally wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah. You can never have enough weapons on your team, though. So we'll see how it goes on Thursday night or Friday morning for it. Friday morning for us.
Well, it'll be Friday for us because we're in Thursday, are we? Not picking it Thursday anymore.
Yeah, that's true. So it'll be Saturday morning for us. Yeah.
Before we find
what did we say it was? I think we worked out about 3 o'clock in the morning for us. We'd be picking.
Yeah, 10:58. Yeah.
I'm in work on Saturday. I'm not sure. I'm overly keen on the idea of staying up for that.
I think I'm going to stay up for the first 2 days, like I did last year, and then I'm not. I don't care about the 4th and 5th round. I really don't care, as you could tell from my contributions near the end there.
I think I'll stay up for a chunk of the first round and see how it's going. Probably once we get to the Raiders, maybe, and see who each of the 3 of them take. Denver at 9, Chargers at 13, Raiders at 17. I could see myself staying up for that. That would probably be about 3 o'clock. That would do me then. I'm not at work on Friday. It'll be all right.
I think tactically having a little snooze early on and go for it. Does it start at midnight?
Like a game, yeah. An hour's power nap.
Does it start at midnight, the draft, or is it 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
They make it easy, do they?
No, they don't. Well, either Owen's fallen asleep there or we've lost him again.
Probably a good time to call it then.
Yes, I think we'll stop recording now. So enjoy the draft on Thursday night, folks, and Friday and Saturday, I guess. And hopefully the Chiefs pick some of the players that we've picked, or at least some of the
jump in our Discord as well. We've got the Discord going now.
Yeah, we do. That's a good shout there, really well.
We'll put all of this in there.
Draft chat on the Discord channels. I will post links to them as well at some stage. So keep an eye on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll post links to that. And come onto the Discord and have a chat with us on draft night.
Yep.
But for now, Tommo, thanks for your time.
No, thank you.
Owen, even though you're not here right now, thanks for your time. And from one kingdom to another, we'll say goodbye for now.